August, and we're still struggling to keep body and soul together. The most important thing is that the can-do spirit is always something. A couple of years back, I was having a conversation with a friend. Picture out to Ponsafana, by the way, and he was talking about the fact that one of the things he doesn't really like Nigerians saying is, we're very resilient people, we don't give up easily. He says that's exactly what the political class, that's exactly what the politicians are taking advantage of. That they know that Nigerians would only shout for a few days and everything will get back to normal. I mean, look at all of the build up to the end bad governance protest. And days and weeks after, demands, have they been attended to? Have they been met? Are there responses from the government in all of those demands? That's a talk for another day. But it's even more worrying that there are reports that some of the account of the protesters or the protest itself being banned, and some political sympathizers around them also put on watch lists. It's democracy, and whether we like it or not, some of these things it gives the echoes of the military era, where people can't talk, people cannot express their thoughts, citizens are scared, people run into exile, people are killed, arrested, businesses, media houses are clamped down. I think it's not something that we should still be discussing in a democracy that we're celebrating this stretch. 26 years now. We're in our 26th year, and we still shouldn't be talking about freezing account of protest sponsors. Protests are part of our democratic process. The Constitution recognizes it. Section 40 clearly spells out your right as a citizen to peaceful protest, by the way. So it's always really disturbing when citizens want to have reasons to ask questions from their leaders, and then they get politicized. They want to take over government, they want to overthrow government, and then even the security agencies that are supposed to guarantee security of lives and properties of the protesters are saying, no, if you have security reports that are saying they could hijack the protest, it is not for you don't throw the baby away with the bath water. It is for you to protect the protesters and take care of those security reports that you have. It is not for you to say, so because there's going to be protest and then there are reports that you hijack the protest, so the protest should know. That means each time there's supposed to be protest, there would always be cases of the protest being hijacked, whether legitimate or not legitimate. So it is your responsibility as a security agent to protect the lives of the people that are protesting. Not for us to cow in and say, because it will be hijacked, people should not protest. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this government is a product of protest. The president, it's on record. I'm not sure there's any politician alive today that is in this country that had been involved in more protests than the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Protests, against, in support of change of government that's under the military. Even protests within a government. In 2012, the Save Nigeria group, the Occupy Nigeria protest, the president was in charge. He was at the forefront of, marching against the decision of the former president Goodluck Jonathan to remove subsidy back then. But then, I hope we'll continue to, leverage on the grace that we have, that we're still sustaining this democracy stuff from the southeast to the north. Any part of the north, even to the north central, even the southwest here, it's been one issue or the other. But hey, we'll continue to make progress. I will continue to hope that things would get better. Today is Thursday, and that means Mr. Miwadiemi joins me on the show today, and we're going to be looking at the conversation around the politics involved in the constitutional amendment that we're always talking about. Yes, it's easier for us to say, let them change the constitution, let them review the constitution, let them do this, let them do that. But in a situation where some of those actions come with, I don't want to use the word political consequences, so that I don't sound like one of the senators that says the decision of the president to relocate the CBN to Lagos would have political consequences. I don't want to push that way, but when you want to have decisions like this, and then people keep building political coloration to it, so we ask, the political conundrum of fixing the Nigerian constitution, how difficult is that? if we agree, or if the people says the constitution is not people friendly, the patriot had a meeting with the president on Friday, and they demanded that the president should give the people's constitution. So if everyone agrees that the 1999 constitution as amended is not exactly a reflection of who we are as a people, does not exactly sell the truth behind federalism, so everyone agrees that the constitution needs to be thoroughly reviewed. Why is it looking difficult? I mean, we've had how many Senate presidents from 1999 till now? Former President Olusegun Obasanjo alone used about 5 Senate presidents, if I'm not mistaken, within the space of 8 years of his presidency. And so we've had series of Senate presidents. The last administration had 2. There was Senator Bukola Saraki, and then there was Senator Ahmed Lawan. Now the president is using another senator as the Senate president, as 3 senators in the last 9 years or thereabouts. So is it that we don't have enough within our strength to push through the conversion of the constitutional review, or we just don't have the political strength or willpower to go on with that? We're going to be looking at that issue today on the show. Then we're also going to be reassessing the state of the Nigerian economy. And for the first time in 19 months, our inflation price went down. For the first time in 19 months, the indices went down, meaning that not yet, nothing much to be excited about, but perhaps some of these things would gradually reflect. 2-3 months ago, you can barely afford to buy a bulb of onion. It's tough. You can barely afford to buy tomatoes in the market. Now it looks like tomatoes are really a bit affordable. You can afford to buy bulbs of onions as well. The bag of rice, you want to look at, is still on the high side. Even your minimum wage cannot afford to get you that. But the question is this: what are we doing that we shouldn't be doing in terms of where the policies of the economy is right now? The presidency is saying they've given all of the state governors bags of rice. The state governors are saying, we've not gotten our bags of rice. The recent of them was the governor of Abia State, Excellency Governor Alex Otti, saying that he hasn't gotten anything. The Bauchi State governor also came out to say the same thing. There seems to be a lot of issues from the governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, against the presidency, especially from the conversation around the minimum wage. It's just been, a whole lot of things. One step forward, major steps backward. Mr. Miwa will help us to unravel some of these things on the show today. He's live with us already. And we're going to start from the political implication of reviewing the Nigerian 1999 constitution, or perhaps the conundrum around the call by the patriots that the president should give a people-friendly constitution. The president should sign an executive bill to the Senate to put that in motion. Mr. Miwademi, good to have you join us on the show today.
Yeah, good evening, Lagos, and good evening, Payne. How are you?
Well, I'm doing well. I'm doing good. Trying to keep body and soul together. I'm trying to survive, and I'm sure you're doing good as well.
Let's go.
So let's get straight up into the conversation, Mr. Miwademi. Why is it difficult for us to have a direction, or let me put it this way, a united position on the need for us? Or let me start from here. Do you think there's a genuine need for us to have a people-friendly constitution as one of the demands of the patriots when they had a meeting with the president last week Friday?
Okay, I think let's understand. I think perhaps what is going on. I think since 1999 that we had this constitution, that Nigerians have been divided about the appropriateness of the constitution to address some of the challenges we have as a country. I think we're thinking of after the 3 years of a democratic regime and military regime, that we should have a constitution that should usher us into a new regime to answer most of the Nigerian questions, address our economic challenges and the pluralism of our nature. But not sooner than Abubakar Salami led government gave that constitution that Nigerians have been talking about the inadequacies of that constitution in addressing some of these issues. And let me tell you again that Nigerians are divided about it, no doubt. Some people are saying that no, the problem we have is not the constitution, and then some people are saying that I think that the constitution is the problem. People say the operators have been the issue, not the content and provisions. But by and large, since 1999 to date, we've had 5 presidents governing this country, starting from Obasanjo, I think to Yar'Adua, to Jonathan, to Buhari, now Tinubu. None of them have applauded, I think, this 1999 constitution. I think to give us, I think, a kind of a living environment to address the problems confronting us as a nation and allow Nigerians to develop. Remember that one of the major issues because about the concern is that it was a funded document imposed on people without much input of Nigeria. Though, to be honest and be candid to the I personally met him about 2 or 3 years ago in his own town in Mina when he marked his 8th birthday. And we during our conversation I put it to him that he impose this constitution on Nigeria. The gentleman refused it as it was imposed that it was the same 1979 constitution. Second Republic Constitution was the product of 1976 Constituent Assembly that I think they took around with some eminent lawyers. I think one of some of them are still alive now. That made up the body that went around the country where they reviewed the 1979 Constitution that gave us the 1999. So to the gentleman, the 1999 Constitution was a review of the 1979 Constitution, which people didn't doubt the credibility. But be as it may, most Nigerians never acted in the 1999 Constitution because it refuses to, it fails to answer many questions about our belief system, about the different culture, about different people, about the regions, about the identity of many Nigerians. And then by and large, the Constitution was not in tandem agreement with the principles of the founding fathers of this country, especially the 1963 Constitution we implemented. The 1963 Constitution was the Anglican. The 1960 was the product of the agreement of the Lancaster House. Even the meeting held in Ibadan in 1958 by all the leaders that we wanted is true federalism. So after the 3 years that they eroded everything about the centralization of government. After the 3 years, I think we diverged wrongly with everything concerning us as a people, I think as a rural nation we wanted. So people thought the constitution should address that, but no and behold, the constitution seems to even invalidate all the vestiges of military administration. So the military command system is still there, not the elements of true federalism where allow each region to develop at their own pace. So that once was completely removed, and I've said it several years that to many Nigerians, Mᴜɪᴡsᴜ wanted it because he wanted to remain a Yoruba man and at the same time be in Nigeria. And then my brother there, I think my brother Ishaman, was my in-law, Mr. Oᴘᴇɪᴇ. We want to remain an Asian man, but at the same time be in Nigeria. So our friend, I think downstairs, you there, I got one of my friends in the office there from Zambia. I think let them want to be a Borno man and still be in Nigeria. That is at the same time we want to remain, I think, from or whatever, and they still remain in Nigeria. So that is the principle of the 1960 Constitution, in which Nigeria was formed and it had independence. Military came, they reverted it, changed it, and they expected the democratic government go on to it. But instead, it fails to do it. So I think the people have seen that as a major crisis because there is no sense of patriotism in many areas. If, as I said, people just take note that the vast land is as in Yoruba, in Shaki, and I think Okeogun, with this, we provide mainstay for it by exploring agriculture. Those lands will not be wasted here. If the people from Ondo State, I think you have a lot of mineral resources here and there. I think that we have to explore all this, the bitumen and all that, I think, to survive. I think you do that instead of waiting for windfall from Abuja. Our friends in Zamora, they are taking ownership of their growth. I don't know how far the minister has gone that we were to do that part of the natural resources of the country. So if they know that goal is there for them to make money, they won't wait for the money from Niger Delta to be shared among all Nigerians. What I will say is that I think the principles we are operating has allowed for indolence, has allowed for undevelopment of various constituencies that made up the federation, has allowed for unitary system of government which was not in tandem with the agreement of the founding fathers. So many people find that very not too good for the economy, for the progress and development of the country. Besides, he gave us the president of government. Some people are talking that even the way he gave us the course of governance just right to continue. But there are many flaws in that constitution. So there are many flaws where we can change the constitution. But every people say this, okay? When you are addressing these issues, we can look beyond changing the constitution to address the ills of the country. I don't want anyone to think that until we have a constituent assembly, until we go the way of the patriot, and many people, patriot was all the first that said it, Chief
Allah also said so.
Yes, you are found out in 1999 that Aᴅᴇɪᴇᴍ has been saying that no, this constitution policy cannot take us to anywhere. So they expect that Aᴅᴇɪᴇᴍ insisted that we cannot hold the last election without us changing that constitution, that no matter who emerges as the president, we will run into problems. So you remember the old man was saying that no, you must change the constitution before having that election. But be as it may, we had the election, the new president is there. We just suffered what we call a right protest, I think, against order and bad governance in Nigeria, which quite unfortunate the outcome of it. But the point I'm trying to make is this: there are many ways we can address the issues plaguing the country without necessarily going the way of the patriots. And I want my listeners, my friends, to listen to this. Most of the problems we have, not all of them are entrenched in the constitution. What I'm saying essentially is this: the actor, the fact that gave 52.6% of our resources to the federal government was not in the constitution. That gave 26% to the state and the 22% to the local government were not in the constitution. They were act of parliament, meaning that a executive bill in the parliament can solve that problem if the legislature approves it. And again, the ordinary bills in the National Assembly, like the police, the bill to establish state police, it has passed first and second reading. What stopped it from going further? If that bill will pass through the legislative process and assented to by the president, it could have solved a big problem about the internal security without changing the constitution. Then again, we have many bills pending in the National Assembly that if they were able to scale through, certainly it will solve our problem without CCD constitution. See the regional development commission. I think they are creating now. We've had South, we've had North-East. Only about 2 or 3 weeks ago, the president approved for the North-East and North-West. The North Central and South-West remaining are still the pipeline. Meaning that if we are able to create regional development in all 6 regions of the country, and they are serious in doing things together, in advancing the cause of their people, so that means that we begin to move towards regionalism, which we had and which was part of the agreement of the founding fathers. Right? So I'm saying this for our people to know that we don't need the route to achieving what we wanted. It's not just one route. Let me go further again. If you consider the Supreme Court judgment on the council autonomy and declaring as illegal caretaker committee governing local government, people are thinking that only constitution can give us that solution. But by the interpretation of this constitution by the judiciary, I think that problem to some people has been solved. Now, don't you think again, sir, that those areas we think, I think, are inimical to the development and progress of the country? When we test them, those provisions in the Supreme Court, what will be the interpretation of those areas? Now, the point I'm trying to make here is that the doctors and some lawyers and some of the Nigerians have talked about the theory of the constitution. Yes. Some people have said that while going on through this crisis, after all, we still have the report of 2014 confirm that there is done. And some of those things we are talking about here now, we are in that report. Why talking of Constituent Assembly spending billions distracting the country for the cause of development? Why can't you do that report? We constitute a committee to review it in line with the whole agenda of the president, and then come out with an acceptable document that the National can legislate on, and it becomes law. So I'm saying that there are many ways to address this issue, but the onus is on the president to think beyond one way. The onus is on the president and the presidency and the people working with him. And I know he has a very strong account there. Apparently, you can't doubt him, you can't doubt his credibility. So let them look at all other options to address the problem, because at most it's not every time you talk of the constitution assembly where it become a gambling, where the people just pass constitution another like a legislative assembly where they start eating our money and demanding all that kind of allowances, because we know what we wanted. 2014 confirmed before the CBA, and always everybody is saying that is the best thing that ever happened to this country. They review this particular constitution. The national anthem we are talking about that is already passed in this country in the 2014 confirmed report. The local government talking we are talking about that just happened now is already in that confirmed report. And most of the things the president was talking about, right? I think it's in that confirmed report. Why can't you constitute only one or two people for each state representing different tendencies and interests to come together, and within 3, 4, 5 months, and then review it and throw it to Nigeria for a referendum if matter, so that and we move forward. I'm only trying to analyze this issue to our listeners to know that I think if you go the way of review the constitution, so be it, but we go through other routes. What matter is that some things must be changed for Nigeria to move forward. Some things must be changed, at least to reflect our plurality, to reflect that we are different people, different culture. but agreed to live together in brotherhood. So I think if I'm in the north now, right, immediately I subject myself to the rules of the penal code, whether I like it or not, because I am there on that. And I expect everybody from north, when you are coming to the south, you understand, do what we do here. We can't do the way you do in our land. When I come to your land, you understand, I do the way you do. It's not new to anybody in America. Your driver's license, I think in California, cannot make you drive. In New York, you have to change it. You cannot make you drive in Arizona, you have to change it. So we are not anything new here, the federal structure. So whichever way we want to go, but let the president do something. And listen, again, when after the man of the patriots, the response of Mr. President was not that even encouraging. If they told them, well, here I've come that I show the constitution, but that's not the issue to me now. That what I'm looking at now is to solve the economic problem and the achieve to the land. After I must have achieved that, I think maybe I will look into this and all that. So that was the response to it. But be as it may, Tinubu must do something. Because he himself, federally, have said that if angels come to rule this country under this constitution, they cannot succeed. So he should succeed, and for him to succeed, he should do the needful and stop linking under the favorable constitutional framework that is not allowed free development in the country.
Thank you so much, Mr. Miwa. But before we leave this issue of the constitution, since you brought up the response of Mr. President to the demand of the patriots when they paid him a visit last week, and he said that, hey, right now my priority is to fixing this Nigerian economy. We can't talk about reassessing those some of the policies of the government that have brought us to where we are right now. But before we leave this issue of the constitution, while you were talking, you made mention of the fact that the 1999 constitution was almost like a lift off from the 1979 constitution, right? And if we have a constitution, Mr. Miwa, that has been with us now for, let me just say, 25 years, from 1999 till now, the realities of 1999 till now is different. Even the last time we had a national census was 18 years ago, and the population of this country as at 18 years ago is not what it is now. As at the last time we had census, Lagos figure was about 9.1 million. You and I know that Lagos is almost triple of that right now. Kano figure was about 9.4 million. You and I know that from Tumuwada to Kano Municipal alone, there are more than almost 10 million people within those axes alone. And those are just 3 local governments combined in Kano. But why are we struggling with admitting that what we have as a document does not exactly pay attention to the realities of where our democracy is right now? Mr. Miwa, our politics have evolved over time. Even the quality of the elections we have, we may want to think that it is gone really bad or whatever, but there were times in this country where people would snatch ballot boxes. Now if you snatch it, it is useless because it's not going to be valid. So we try to evolve even in our electoral process as well. Yes, we know that there was an electoral act that was signed, amended, that's in 2022, signed by the former president Muhammadu Buhari. But if you say that the change of the constitution is not the only way to fix our problems, but then that is a document that support anything we have. That is a document that has about 49 items on the presidential list. That is the document that says that, hey, all of the land belong to so and so. Why do you think there's no need for an urgent review of the Nigerian constitution? If I understand what you said well.
Well, no, I'm not saying we cannot review it.
No, you talked about the urgency of it.
I try to lay all our options on the table. And I said that is not the only way. But I've said, and right to clear myself again, that we have issues to fix about the Nigerian question, right? But there are no real options of getting it done. And I want to say again that although a comprehensive review of that constitution has been done in 2014, the constitution is National Assembly, National Conference, it's a comprehensive review. And do you know what? President Tinubu should not distract himself. And with, I think some things he can do without making too much noise. Listen and listen carefully. He does not have time for all these things. He says that the politics will soon begin. And in Nigeria, I can tell you that speak to 5 people in the north. I'm not talking of ordinary people. Speak to 5 professors of northern extraction. And speak to 5 professors of political science, anthropology, sociology, law, and what have you. 5 from north, 5 from south. Anywhere from south and anywhere from north. I can tell you that you see similarity in what those 5 of each region should say. And those will never be the same. I have it. And I'm saying it from experience. I think recently I spoke to about 3 professors from the north, including Professor Yabigi. And their comment is quite different from the professors we spoke to in UI. Right. While some of them support vigorously in the north, that you don't need to go through the house of changing the constitution. Simply because as you see, it's super there. And the world inside are telling you, hey, you have to change it. Possibly, where is the middle ground for the president? And he must do something. Whereas, when it comes to the population, anyhow we want to look at it, and they're talking about population, it's not because of intelligence that I think the South has been using, that they do just in matter of population, we know what's happening in the country. That's what we need to address, even when we know that our people at least could vote better than what we are better than what we are saying, they are much different. But our people don't vote, right? Because they vote over there. So the rules about number. So whether the Nigerian, whether whether government candidate that became government.
They always pull the number.
You know what they're talking about. I don't need a follow to vote for me. When I ask for his manifesto, I don't need it. The ones that vote, I don't need it. I don't be concerned with God, but if somebody wants to come to
the states,
the land people and we say that we're so educated, he said, I don't need the vote of professors and all this university. They are the ones that like clean the blueprint and but what I need a vote of Okoda and Mary and the trader, because I've realized that the vote of Okoda is as equal as the vote of the professor. And it takes me just ordinary selfie and that trick to get the vote of Okoda and all his family, right? Generation on board, than to convince a professor with only 5 hours of talk explaining what they are to people only to vote for you. So I don't need it. And they won the election. What I'm saying is that if they go through some process in this country, fast will not get something done easily. I'm telling the truth. So that's why all is just trying to weigh your options. I think he must have realized the truth about the strength of the population capacity of the north when it comes to politics. They are experts in state politics of Nigeria because that's where their strength is. Your strength here lies on commerce and what you can do for yourself. But their strength there lies on politics and to grab as soon as possible a member of National Assembly a rep member, came to the floor of the National Assembly with 4 wives and 3 children and told you, the whole nation, that is still expecting more, and for the 4 wives and children to take a bow. We all laughed at it, but he's sending a message. You understand? But I know you never dream of giving up to 5, 7 children. I think that we know you guys now, right? So you guys are talking of 2. So you, your wife, and 2 or 3 children.
Well, okay.
5. Well, okay. But your colleague, you know, having 25, 20. So, and some of them will look at the polling unit, and they have no one vote. So, I'm talking about the contradictions in Nigerian system. And be as it may, we both begin to quickly see the known way of cleaning the rat. That's another way. You can't say just one way. But what we are saying is that some things must be achieved. We are talking of that the federal government is the Nigerian government centrally loaded. If you cannot see the constitution, what can we do? As to share the wage. And as I said, what gave the federal government 62% of the national resources and gave all the state 26 and 7 and 4 local government 22 is not in the constitution. I said it. And here we are now, we are talking of the issue of local government that have been rendered helpless. We could not do anything, we have the government. We did not take the constitution to do that. When we are talking of the problems, we have the electoral act in the election, right? There was an electoral act that tried to change the constitution. But we can still review that electoral act before the next election to solve and cater for some of the health problems at the time in the 2023 general election. So the point we are trying to make here is that there are many options. So when we are talking, we should not as we start down as a standard and the somebody that believes in true federalism. I strongly believe that we should not just think that only one way that we can approach this matter. That's just my position.
Thank you very much, Mr. Muademi is the chief political editor of Guardian newspaper, and I must put this disclaimer. He's always said it over and over again that whatever position he reflects on this show is strictly his own personal position and does not reflect the interest of the organization he represents. So that we set that straight, because I'm seeing some very interesting messages right now. Now, I think it's safe for us to admit at this point that reviewing, or let me say, trying to move away from this constitution is not exactly a sure bet that it will end or fix all of our problems. But it's also really important that, you know, some of the things, our realities as a nation must be captured in whatever document that is guiding our existence as a people. The president is not superior to the constitution, neither are the governors superior to the constitution. I mean, you look at where we are right now, you look at the level of exposure we have 25 years ago is not the same level of exposure that we have now. The level of evolution around our politics is not exactly what it is now. Yesterday on the show, on Media Politics, Said was talking about the fact that he's not sure President Obasanjo could have used 5 Senate presidents if he was president today. The way he removes, or the way Senate president will remove those times, it probably would not happen in this present dispensation. The way some of those governors were making decisions as at that time, a lot of them, I mean, they can't try that now. Even though a lot of people feel like politicians are getting more powerful every day, the people are also getting more aware. In this country, a sitting president lost an election. That is supposed to send a message to everybody that our political awareness in this era is evolving. So whatever document that is guiding us as a nation should also evolve with the times that we have. That is why we don't have a rigid constitution. Our constitution is flexible. It is open to change. It is open to amendments via the due process? I think that's what the people are asking for. Mr. Adeyemi, let's reassess the Nigerian economy and ask ourselves where we are right now as a people. For the sixth time, the operations of the Port Harcourt refinery, not even the full refinery by the way, just the smaller part of the refinery in Port Harcourt has been postponed for the sixth time. August, February, November, October, different stories. And whether we like it or not, the issue of the refineries will continue to dictate how our economy survives, because that's what we're surviving on. Mr. Adeyemi, why does it look like we're moving on the same circle over and over again? If the president will say they're giving interventions, the people will still come out and say they're suffering. If the president will say they're giving bags of rice, some governors will still come out and say we didn't get any bag of rice. The president will say 500 billion or thereabouts was given to the governors. A governor will come out and say no, it is still part of the COVID intervention loan. Why are we at this point? And why does it look like the presidency and the governors are working at crossroads when the same people the governors are governing over are the same people the president are presiding over?
I think when we are talking of the refinery here, President Obasanjo, I think early in the week was made us to understand why our refineries are not working and they may not work. And the same thing, the very same virus, I think we are trying to infect it on the on refinery. I think by trying to frustrate the businessman, I think, and making regret building that refinery. Obasanjo was very clear that he was spoke the mind of Nigeria. We are saying, if we are saying that we are not the position of authority, and these are the things severally the media I think have written on, that the high level of corruption, lack of patriotism, and the selfish interest of few businessmen that had a refinery out of the country, that had their syndicate stealing Nigeria crude oil and taking it to their private refinery elsewhere. There has been major problem for our local refinery from working. And whether we like it or not, article said something. One of the article when it was campaigning, they said it twice that the only way to make Nigerian refineries work is to privatize it. To sell it off. I think they were out of emotion or political sentiment when we did not see economic sense in what he said. Because the place has become a place full of corruption. And the only thing thriving there ever since has been people stealing. And whether anybody is doubting it, so nobody has said it. So we can say we are only emphasizing, I think, what Professor the former President Obasanjo has alleged or said. So we know high level of corruption going on at this refinery. We all know it. You know when those refineries are working, several times they will supply with crude oil just to make sure you impact. I report from where? From some people's refinery outside the shore of the country. There are times. So I think time they ensure sabotage. You go to records and see several times they will tell you sabotage. So the Obasanjo was frustrated and people said they call a share of movie to woman manage it. He said they will not. They will not. Because there is no political going on here. So we have a well-funded principalities that are weak in Nigeria.
And they want to make sure the status quo remains.
You know what? We are not just speaking, right? They are passing the baton on to their children. So it has become a family cartel. And for you to say you want to fight them, you understand, you must be strong enough, I think, to confront think their humongous influence are spreading across all sectors of the country. We have enough money to fight the government because they are getting billions. We are talking about the nationally that never work and we are budgeting billions of it, billions for it every year.
I mean, those billions are going into some people's pockets.
Well, I think your guess is as good as fine to say that. So, as a president of the country, Mr. President himself holds the office of the Minister of Petroleum. So, which means that he takes full responsibility for everything that's happening in that sector. Is that not a shame for a country to have given 3 different days, not 1 day interval, that this thing will commence operation and are failed? The problem is that there's so much money invested on it that Buhari will commission it. And we start operation during Buhari era. Buhari has left office about 40 or 50 months now. So they are giving different dates. And I don't know, let them get to wait for the government. That thing will not work. And I want them to prove us wrong. If it works, how many months will it work? Will it justify the amount of money spent on it? Let them pay Nigerians how much billions they spend on turnaround maintenance of that refineries. So, what I'm saying is that until we can see a large level of patriotism in President Tinubu to fight the class he belongs. You and I don't belong to that class. We can't speak where we speak. We don't belong, but he belongs to that class. He's not a pauper. I saw the middle class. He's not a businessman. And we know him. He should fight them and make it work. You see how they are trying to infect that refinery with the same virus. We all saw it. And they are still trying to frustrate it. You know, they were selling this to as much as 1,000 per liter.
Until Dangote started pumping into the economy.
So when Dangote started pumping into the economy, it came to 1,001. So all their importation from that area that they have problem, they still continue, but see the magic of the profit they are making, how it is shrink now. And I see how they are making Nigerians in trillions every day, affecting the production line, affecting the economy, affecting the companies, creating many companies out of business, creating unemployment everywhere. So, and they know that immediately Dangote begins to pump petrol into the system now, it will accept the same price, and the cartel will run into another crisis. So they are fighting for their survival because of the legitimate way of making money. The board stuff like Mr. President, who is already the petrol minister, I think Nigerians will ask him questions in a few months. What has happened? Because he's the petrol minister. And you will see, if he fails to do what is normal and what is expected of him, to resolve those crises there, please, we are talking of technology here. Technology is not about permutation. Technology is not about trial and error. Please, we are not talking of nuclear science here. Refineries work everywhere in the world. And when the engineers, technicians, by the time they look at the situation, what they want to do, and they tell you they can fix this in 6 months. Everywhere in the world, that 6 months, I think will be. But a year, 18 months is passing. So, we are going to the moon. We are talking of I think we are going to the moon. We are the first country to say we are going to the moon. Right? So, if we tell you they are going to the moon in the next 2 weeks, and off we go. So, that's it. So, as capability and readiness to find the class we belong to get it. If not, we will continue to improve ourselves as a nation, and the economy will continue to go down just because of few elements, unpatriotic elements, cheating the system to advance their selfish interests. And it's unfortunate. Imagine you get this refineries work. Imagine the kind of jobs you create in that zone. Imagine people, I think, that will benefit from the end product here. Imagine if anything can be done, at least to slash the cost of petroleum to 300, 250, and available in this country. If this can come from 1,009 to 1,001, so petroleum can come from 580 or 650 selling. I bought 20 yesterday in this Lagos, in the 괜ᴜ. I can name the name of the petrol station because I don't want to get anything, right? That's what it's on. And imagine we have Dangote refinery doing this and it comes to 300 or 250. Imagine how that would have rub off on the economy, on the transport system, on the cost, and reducing the cost of living. Again, the way they are trading Dangote refinery, what signal are they sending to
investors?
Other investors that have their files on the tables of the bank to raise money? I know the license many companies to build whether modular refinery or any kind of refinery, right? But and the number thing that the take back facility to do it, at times you need consortium of banks to do that for you. With what is happening now in that industry, if there is FD of a bank, will you approve a loan for that now? Where some of the companies there, they will give a loan for it and no work. It does not work. What do you think? So a lot of President Tinubu to take action on, and this is the time. I think he should keep his promise. Yes, to Nigeria, and do better than what he's doing now. He needs to take some firm and strong actions that Nigeria will see and begin to have hope in the government. The protest that some Nigerians have, that no matter the level of what it is, he eroded trust on his government. It eroded confidence. I think in Nigeria, in believing it, but he must take some policy actions and take some drastic steps now to begin to regain the confidence of the people and the trust lost, I think, to survive the remaining, I think, 2.5 years.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mᴜyíᴏ. I have to let you go. The agreement is for 4 to 5 o'clock. I appreciate you. I know how tough your schedule is right now, but you'll always still find time to be with us on the show. And thank you very much once again. God willing, we'll have you live in the studio next week, Thursday.
Thank you very much. And I trust our listeners will go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mᴜyíᴏ. I think the message is very clear. The president must understand that, irrespective of how well he means for this country, there are forces, they call them principalities and seen and unseen forces, that are probably hell-bent on just making sure that this country does not work. And at the end of the day, everything rests on the table of Mr. President. The decisions he makes, the policies he makes, and more importantly, how he intends to implement those policies. I'll be back on the turn of 5 o'clock to read your messages and also pick your calls. I just had a session with Mr. Mᴜyíᴏ, the chief political editor of Guardian newspaper. He joins me every Thursday on the show. You're live on Mainland FM. The headline news shortly.
98.3 Mainland FM.
Good evening. Headline news on Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Omobola Sandra. Justice Tᴏɪᴏ to become second female Chief Justice of Nigeria as NJC recommends her. Fubara warns new commissioners SAS against using positions for economic gains. Nigeria's inflation rate drops to 33.4%, first decline in 19 months. President Tᴏɪᴜnᴜ signed agreement on Gulf of Guinea gas pipeline. On the foreign scene, Trump launches personal and policy assaults on Kamala Harris in Asheville rally. And in sports, Spanish football star Lamine Yamal's father stabbed in car park attack near Barcelona. That's the headline news on Mainland FM. Details at 5:30.
Listening to Mainland 98.3 FM. Looking for ways to save your data? It starts with your apps. Deleting unused apps helps, but there is more. Most apps have data saver modes. Activate them to control data usage. You can also go to settings to turn off auto updates. Lastly, close unused apps to save data when you end using your apps. These changes can make a big difference. For more information, visit your mobile operator's website or consumer.ncc.gov.ng for more helpful tips. Stay connected and enjoy smarter data usage. This message is brought to you by the Association of Telecom Operators and Nigerian Communications Commission.
What takes a plate of jollof rice to the next level of goodness? Is it when it is cooked with non-sizzling chips for that sumptuous taste? Or when you serve it with correct Nigerian salad, cabbage, carrot, lettuce, and a bit of kidney beans? It's both. Season your jollof with the rich taste of more cubes and serve with plenty of vegetables. So, go ahead and elevate your meals. Today, eat for good.
Lagos, get ready for the biggest praise event of the year. The much anticipated extravagant praise concert 2024 is set to return for its 6th edition, promising an unforgettable night of soulful worship, uplifting gospel music, and unified praise. The Catholic Praise Concert proudly presents the Extravagant Praise Concert 2024, featuring an incredible lineup of gospel artists: Sir Jude Nam Ancestor, Great Man Takit, Father Fuji, Kela Trills, Jesus Baby, Moses Audu, A-String, and St. Dominic Catholic Church, Yaba Central Choir, Utsikan Abasi, Sacred Heart Ojota Choir, Man of Praise, Victus Eze, Chimama, DJ Exmo, and more. Join us on Friday, August 16th, 2024 from 9 p.m. till dawn at St. Dominic Catholic Church, 356 Habab Macaulay Way, Yaba, Lagos. Gate fee absolutely free. Don't miss this extraordinary night of worship and celebration, brought to you by Catholic Praise Concert.
Correct food, they always give me joy. That's na why anytime wey I dey cook like this, I dey always season am with no cubes. Come add correct vegetables inside: ugu, tatashe, shombowo, onions. No one wey I no dey put. Na im make my pikin dem dey always enjoy my cooking.
Daddy, I never welekulu. I want more.
You see, na oya food with correct vegetables. Come season am with no cubes for that ogbonge delicious taste. Today, chop better.
Lagos, get ready for the biggest biggest praise event of the year, the much anticipated extravagant praise concert 2024 is set to return for its 6th edition, promising an unforgettable night of soulful worship, uplifting gospel music, and unified praise. The Catholic Praise Concert proudly presents the Extravagant Praise Concert 2024, featuring an incredible lineup of gospel artists: Sir Jude, Nam Ancestor, Great Man Takit, Father Fuji, Kela Trills, Jesus Baby, Moses Audu, A-String, and St. Dominic Catholic Church, Yaba Central Choir, Utsikan Abasi, Sacred Heart, Ojota Choir, Man of Praise, Victus, Eze, Chimama, DJ Exmo, and more. Join us on Friday, August 16th, 2024 from 9 p.m. till dawn at St. Dominic Catholic Church, 356 Habab Macaulay Way, Yaba, Lagos. Gate fee absolutely free. Don't miss this extraordinary night of worship and celebration, brought to you by Catholic Praise Concert.
Looking for ways to save your data? It starts with your apps. Deleting unused apps helps, but there is more. Most apps have data saver modes. Activate them to control data usage. You can also go to settings to turn off auto updates. Lastly, close unused apps to save data when you end using your apps. These changes can make a big difference. For more information, visit your mobile operator's website or consumer.ncc.gov.ng for more helpful tips. Stay connected and enjoy smarter data usage. This message is brought to you by the Association of Telecom Operators and Nigerian Communications Commission.
Have a way of taking us on a journey, and when you add plenty of vegetables like efo, ugu, and season with the rich taste of Knorr seasoning cubes, even better. So go ahead and elevate your meals with more vegetables and the rich taste of Knorr cubes. Today, eat for good.
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM.
Us on all our social media platforms on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Mainland 98.3 FM and Twitter at Mainland FM. We are Fast.
Things seems anxious and uncertain and stand Yes, now. If there were
Request to bring to the table issue-based conversation around nationhood and development from 4 to 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday, a perfect time to welcome you into the Situation Room as we continue to build the narrative about public service and accountability.
Mr. President, this Senate needs to know. Mr. President, this Senate needs to lend its voice to the plight of these people. Mr. President, there is nowhere I can say to except here. This is where I'm elected. If I cannot say these things on this sofa, I better resign and leave.
As elections give the citizens the chance to make their political decisions, and stand to demand for quality leadership from those they voted into office.
Look at us, man, there is nothing, we are starving. Tinubu should please do something.
It's also important to having a Nigeria of everyone's dreams. Join O꞉ L쏘łyᴏ as it takes to task seasoned analysts, opinion makers, business professionals, and politicians on issues around politics, policies, governance, and leadership. Every Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial, Mainland 98.3 FM will welcome you as we discuss the situation.
Welcome back, and thank you very much for still staying with us on Mainland 98.3 FM. By 5:30, the full bulletin will come through, and by 6 o'clock, we'll come back here for Sport Cruise on Mainland 98.3 FM tonight. The first game of the new season, 2024-2025 season in the La Liga begins tonight, and there's going to be Atletico Club Bilbao versus Getafe, and also Girona will be in action, and tomorrow the big one, the English Premier League. All of these and more. Would also dissect the interview of the Minister of Sports, Senator John Eno, yesterday in respect to the performance of the team Nigeria at the just concluded Paris 2024 Olympics. All of these would come up by 6 o'clock. Would also allow you to join the conversation and make your predictions ahead of the weekend. Don't worry, all of that plus more by 6 o'clock. But for now, we're back in the Situation Room, and before we went on that break, I had the chief political editor of Guardian newspaper, Mr. Miwa as my guest from 4 to 5 p.m. and then I will just look at the political conundrum of revisiting the Nigerian 1999 Constitution as amended. I mean, how much progress would he give to us if we're able to work out the modalities of a new constitution? Last week Friday, the Patriot visited Mr. President, and they suggested that Mr. President should send an executive bill to the Senate to initiate a people-friendly constitution. Well, Mr. Muwademi said that is not the entire solution. That's not the problem to the solution to our problems. Right now, I beg your pardon. He says that the people really need to be carried along, especially with the policies of the government. We'll also look at assessing the state of the Nigerian economy, and he talked about the fact that the president belongs to the class that have held and is still holding the country hostage in respect to how long the leaders that we have today have actually been at the corridors of power. Have we made much progress? It is not just about 25 years of uninterrupted democracy. What is the quality of those 25 years in terms of the quality of life of the people, in terms of the yearnings and aspirations of the Nigerian people? How much have we gained from the 25 years of this democracy in terms of infrastructures, in terms of the quality of our education, in terms of the housing challenges that we have in this country? Can you put it side by side that we've truly made progress? Those are the questions that I asked Mr. Miwademi, and he says the president has enough time to make changes if he truly wants to make changes, at least before, or if he chooses to be up for re-election after 2027, then the people can decide. But for now, he has a mandate that would run till 2027. That means he has over 2 more years to make changes. That is his call, and that was the position of my guest. But now let me have your thoughts. 0913-600-0410. What do you think? Join the conversation. Mr. Miwademi thinks that changing the constitution will not exactly give us the solution to all of our problems. But my question is this: should we not have a document that reflects our current realities as a country, in terms of our political evolution, in terms of even the population that we have in this country, in terms of distribution of our resources? How equitable are we when we talk about distributing our resources? Are we still basing on the leverage of what the census we had about 18 years ago, the figures that it's giving us? So people come up with policies or to defend the policies of the government, and they say Lagos is approximately, Kano is approximately, Ekiti is approximately, Akwa Ibom is approximately. You can't make much progress when you don't have the exact figure of the people you're dealing with. It's just like you wanting to get into the kitchen to make a meal. You would decide that, I want to cook for 3 people, I want to cook for 4 people. That will determine the quantity of the food you want to make. You can't just go into the kitchen and just cook. So how do you make policies when you don't even know the number of the physically challenged people we have in this country, the number of ex-convicts that we have in this country, the number of old people that we have in this country, the number of male and female that we have in this country? It's a big problem, and until we fix some of these challenges, we'll probably just be dancing up, and maybe just some dance without progress. Like Mr. Fuad would always say, motion without progress. Talk to us. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the show.
Good evening, John from Oba.
Mr. John, you're welcome.
Yes, thanks to the analyst here.
Mr. Mᴜɪ̀ɪ̀wadi.
Whether you change the constitution or not, we are talking about people, politicians that does not have the interest of the people at heart. We are talking about the institutions that are not working. We are talking about greedy people that only have the intention of coloring, that have the intention of coloring the intention of the citizens, and which have done so over the years, that have been perpetually impoverishing the masses for years, and they are not ready to let go. We are talking about when people commit offense and they are not punitive measures. They are not punished. They are not making out punishment for them. This is what we are talking about. These are the fundamental issues we are talking about. Let us just suppose what is happening in the level where true democracy is being practiced. These are the three parties. Let us even freeze the democracy we have practiced because I you said there. Of what quality has been brought to the people? We talk about let us go the China way. That's the only way. Where institution works and when you commit offenses, you are meant to pay for it.
I said when you commit offenses, you are made to pay for it.
Yes, and if that instance is not working, let us redefine Nigeria, and that's how Nigeria should be.
Thank you very much, Mr. John from Ogba. Straight up, it is a big problem that we don't have punitive measures here. When people commit crimes, especially when they betray public trust, somebody voted in office or people voted in office as a governor and you stole their commonwealth, and then they are made to come and talk about plea bargain, and then they are given fines, they are released on bail, and the trial will linger on for 10 years, 20 years. Meanwhile, you stealing those monies, whether it is ecological fund, whether it is palliative, whether it is loan, or whether it is whatever form it comes, the moment you dip your hand into public pockets and you steal monies that belong to your people, you've broken public trust. Unfortunately, we don't have institutions that exactly push these people, hold them to account. It's really unfair, and I think it's a major problem that we are facing in this country. Let me have your thoughts. Hello, good evening.
Hello, Mr. Opa.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, sir.
Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, this is Don calling from Ojota.
Okay, Don from Ojota.
Yes. The process of everything and the foundation. When the foundation is faulty, what can a righteous do? Well, a righteous can do something, pull it down, then you schedule it, you work it out. So if a righteous is putting hand and not retrieve the foundation, they can't do anything. So our constitution, we said, is being given by the military era, and now we are building house. You can't build a nice house on a faulty foundation because it's going to collapse. So the electoral reform is very faulty. And if we cannot readjust this electoral reform to suit the conscience of the masses and to the welfareism of the masses, we are not going to go anywhere. Hello.
I'm with you, Don.
So what we are saying is that look at these oil sectors of the things. There is no auditing measurement. I think there is auditing measurement in this oil sector. What Abiola was thinking in the years to go, and now 30-something years we are still thinking the same music without check and balances. Look at it. This subsidy not supposed to be in a word we're supposed to be using in our own oil sector. I think our refinery is working well. Misplaced priority, that is the reason why we cannot even achieve it. Hello.
I'm with you. Please wrap up your thought, Don. Wrap up your thought.
I'll round up now. If you have a car and that car is giving you headache all the time, you are putting fuel and want to the gas cylinder and the mechanic
oil filter and the mechanic is milking you.
You have open workshop on your head and be kicking you. What do? Are you not going to set that car up and look for nice things to do? That is what our Obasanjo do. Making him to not be in the meeting or the vote of confidence yesterday.
Thank you.
There is no mediocre.
Much talking about the vote of confidence. I mean, I would always say it. As long as we practice democracy, any vote whatsoever rests on the people. It is not whether former head of state or polls are saying the people know. It is the reality that the people are dealing with. If people cannot afford to feed, they cannot afford to buy their basic, the essentials, irrespective of who is giving you vote of confidence. As long as the people that voted you into office don't have confidence in your service or leadership, you should think twice. 0913-600-0410. It's Mainland 98.3 FM. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
You're welcome.
My name is Sɪᴛᴜᴜᴛᴇʀ from Nigeria, from Alagbado.
I didn't get your name.
Sɪᴛᴜᴜᴛᴜᴜ from Alagbado.
Okay, Mr. Mustafa from Alagbado.
Yeah. You see, we are speaking of.
Hello. Ooh, I mean, I was struggling with the name initially, so you can still try and call back if you're lucky before we say our goodbyes on the show. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good to have you on the show today.
Yes, this is Pastor Maxwell.
Pastor Maxwell from Ojo, you have the floor.
Yeah. You know, we tend to leave the main road and enter the bush all the time whenever the case of this country is mentioned. The problem of this country is APC, and the APC we are holding to account is Tinubu. Now, right from Buhari, their people rejected him. He didn't win the first time, second time. Tinubu told us he single-handedly went to bring somebody they rejected, and Tinubu and Buhari came and destroyed the economy. $24 trillion naira was collected and spent without account. Are you hearing me?
I'm with you.
And now this man, in his own style, came in, and he knows that he has trust deficit. Nobody trusts Tinubu because he hasn't got what we call honest or sincere heart. Tinubu does not possess it. And that's why he's fighting to do something correct. But nobody will trust him. Now look at Melekere and the oil. Even if Melekare's father is the owner of NNPC, should he remain there by now? Should Melekere still remain there? No. And the Tinubu will never sack him. The day he sacks, he removes Melekere, that's the day he will leave that position.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Just wrap up your thoughts. Okay.
So what I'm saying in effect is that the problem we're having now is the worst of this country are the people ruling the best. And there's no way that we can get it right except we unite against this type of leadership that's showing up here in Nigeria. Look at Abba, the type of law it was trying to legislate. Even if it's colonial, who do you think receive that type of law?
Thank you very much. Really interesting. And I mean, immediately the news filtered, the House of Reps did the needful. There are a lot of things that we are battling with in this nation, a lot of challenges that we are battling with, trying to talk about people not reciting the national anthem and all of that. I don't know. Please rise.
Yes, how are you?
You're welcome.
Can you hear me very well?
Very clear.
Okay, thank God for that. You see, when you talk about Nigeria constitution today, the only state that we need is not when we adopt this type of democracy, and those our team can caliber former leaders over there, we adopt this American system of government. Look what is giving us today. It's giving us like this $21 million a month. It's giving what is local corruption practice, and the best of democracy that this country is the one before the independence. It's never found some beach. That is an opportunity to change it. They said the constitutional committee there. It is important that for the whole show. And Jonathan come around. He did the same thing. It went on that hand. So we need to set our condition. It is very hard. The present today is to grant somebody I know that is able to do it. If we can do it, we are talking about of this country today. We correct condition and some corrupt Nigeria. I think what they want to do to govern the state in little. Because our problem is not our problem with it and some things we know it and I don't even clear this.
I'm struggling to hear you. Prince Wise, I'm really struggling to hear you. Hello, good evening. Hello. Okay, I picked your call. I guess you're not ready to talk to us. We have loads and loads of messages to read here. This one is Tᴜɪᴜnᴜ and it says having reliable data is very germane to any country that wants to develop economically and in other areas of growth. This is the greatest bane in our dear country Nigeria. In view of this, President Tinubu must ensure that we have these to be able to ensure good development in all sectors of the country. Without this, I'm sorry, we're going nowhere. I think so too. We need to fix our data problem. Temitope Notori says that it's unfortunate that in a country where some have been seen to be seen above the law, a situation where the law is for the poor, thereby facing squarely the wrath, but the rich are going scot-free. Imagine political office holders looting the public funds and going unpunished. But a boy that stole 7 cups of rice was sentenced to 1 year imprisonment. The country needs restructuring for us to have good governance. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, that I got some message. Thank you. Akpavandino says, please note that the Western powers thank farm owners, IOCs, Nigerian collaborators, according to OPEC 2 weeks ago, will not allow any refinery to work in this country because it will lead to closure of those in Europe and loss of African markets. So President Tinubu is advised to look at Russia and the Eastern Bloc and handle our refineries as the only solution. The West is a cartel that will not do anything with these refineries. Thank you very much. Mr. Benjamin from Shogula says, truth be told, inflation is going down and is not reflecting in the essential goods in the market. Rice is still very expensive, yam is still very expensive, beans is still very expensive. Talk about bread and provision that's still very expensive. Not until the problem of subsidy is solved. I see no headway for improvement in our economy. If the Council of States that granted vote of confidence to the president should tell him to start attending protesters' demand before it's too late. Benjamin from Shogula, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Okay. My question is this. How are the federal government getting all these bags of rice that they are sharing? Are they imported or local rice? If they are local produce rice, from where and which state are they planted? That's Ralph from Satellite Town. Interesting. Unfortunately, the size of the package. Tomorrow is Friday, and I would always do the best I can to make sure that the guests tomorrow would, spend a little time with us so that I can spend more time with you. Thank you to everyone that made this production a success. By 5:30 the full bulletin will come through, and by 6 o'clock I would come back for Sport Cruise on Mainland FM. From Patrick, the media officer of Aqua United Football Club, will join us on the show today to look at the preparation of the club ahead of the 2024-2025 season. Don't confuse me, my friend. Okay, that's it. We started this series, and yesterday we have the media officer of Plateau United. On Tuesday we have the media officer of Eyimba. On Monday we had the general manager of Mighty Jet. So we'll touch all of the 20 clubs that will be playing in the MPFL next season. All of that by 6 o'clock, but stick with us by 5:30 for the full bulletin. I'll be back tomorrow. My name is Okoyemi, and they keep your dad locked on Mainland 98.3 FM.